I also was about to get very emotional because this has been a journey. I wasn't lucky enough to my life has not been the usual conventional way where you finish high school, then you go to university, the normal journey. Mine has been
Hustler nation.
It came the other way around. After I lost my mom, and actually I lost my mom when I was just becoming an adult. I just finished high school, and life has been a roller coaster. So mine started the other way, getting a baby. Then it's not the organized way, but it got to a point. It doesn't matter how you start. What I'm trying to say is it doesn't matter how you start. It doesn't matter which path you have taken. You can always go back from anywhere. So when I was starting this, Dave was my support system. I could not understand anything. I remember my first, I did my master's online, and when you're doing it online, it's a bit different as well. It's a little bit more difficult because you don't have someone to supervise how you're doing your exams. So they make it very, very difficult for you. And every single week is more of an exam. Every single week is like you're writing a new thesis. And the first few months, it was very difficult because I didn't know which way to go. But by the time I was finishing, I actually could not even, by the time I was finishing, I think I finished this year, March, I could not imagine that I've actually finished this. Because once you take the first step, the other one in Teremko, I usually say, like Daddy has talked about discipline. When you discipline yourself, like when you say, I want to go to the gym, the wanting to go to the gym is the most difficult part. But once you get there and you start, you go all the way. You just don't go to the gym and stand. You will go and you make sure you've done something out there. And when you're done, you always pat yourself in the back and say, thank God I came. It was difficult to make the decision of coming, but once I got there, it was smooth all the way. So for me, it has, I cannot call it very smooth, but it's been a consistent journey. For the people who are have started doing their masters, I discovered that the secret to finish is not to stop. You just start and don't take any breaks. Because the moment you console yourself with your break, especially when you're writing your dissertation, when you decide to take a break, you can take a break for 5 years. You can take a break for 10 years. So if you start, just say, I'm focusing, I'm going to take this for 2 years and I'm not going to stop anywhere. Just do it and don't stop. The ones who've taken a break, don't worry, it's never late. Keep doing it. And God does not fail. God will not fail us. If I did this with a small family, if I did this with as a hustler nation, it's more difficult for us because our lives are not structured. When you're in a business, our lives are not as structured as when you have a job. A job will tell you to be in the office at 8 o'clock and leave at a particular time. It will tell you when to go for leave. It's a bit more structured, but when you're doing business, it is anytime is whatever time. so sometimes a bit difficult, but also it helps you with the discipline of life because you need to be very disciplined to be in business, to have a family, and to be in school. So mommy and daddy, you're my target, you're my motivation. I am coming. I'll be the next doctor.
Wow.
It doesn't matter where I start from. I'll be the next doctor.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.